Blog Talk Radio.
Raw living is a state of mind, a way of being in alignment with your body. Raw living means you put yourself and your body first. Your host, Geeta Sidhu-Robb, is the founder of Nosh Detox, located in the UK. They offer innovative raw food smoothies sold across Europe. You experience it in your skin, your body, and your mind. And now it's time for Living Raw Radio.
Living Raw Radio, and welcome everybody to an amazing episode where I get to hang out with yet more of my favorite people in the entire world. And today I have a really, really interesting person, somebody who has taken herself, picked herself up by her bootstraps, changed her life, created the most interesting, amazing life, and is here to share it with us. Isn't that wonderful? Don't you just love being inspired? You wake up, somebody inspires you. I think that's a pretty good way to move on in life. We're just going to check if Gina's here with us. Gina, you
Hi,
there?
Geeta. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Can you hear me well?
I'm glad technology is working for us across the pond.
I know, and it's all your side at the moment. So where you are right now is where this is all taking place. It's all U.S.-based.
Yes. It's beautiful and sunshiny right here at the beach, and I know it's evening where you are, right?
Yeah, I'm not speaking to you anymore if you say things like that to me. No, I'm just not doing it. I mean, it's cold, and it's dark, and it's miserable.
Oh, goodness. Okay, mum's the word.
Yeah, exactly. No mention of the beach, no mention of the sun, and then we're all good.
Good, thank you.
So tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me where you came from before you did what you do now.
Okay. Well, it's kind of funny. I live in a big city now. I live in San Diego, but I actually grew up on a dude ranch, which is kind of funny. I grew up with horses and packing mules in the Rocky Mountains, and I really loved my childhood. And I got to tell you, the dream for what I wanted to do as an adult was put in my heart as a 10-year-old little girl. And that was health and wellness, and that was back in the early 70s, actually. I would just see kids that were bullied and picked on that were overweight, and it hurt my heart that somebody would be picked on just for that. And I remember in 5th grade, I thought, I'm going to help people not be overweight when I grow up. And so really my passion and my purpose started then. But then I graduated from high school, and it was 1981. There weren't a lot of certified nutritionists and holistic practitioners, and so I was good at music, so I actually got my music degree. It wasn't necessarily my passion, but I was good at it, and it was fun. Then I got married. I was married for 13 years. I fell into acting and modeling, and again, it was a lot of fun. But still in my heart,
so before she carries, no, Gina, hang on a minute. Before you carry on, we should point out that she didn't just fall into acting and modeling. She's absolutely stunning, and you guys need to all go check her out right this minute on GinaRuby.com, GINARUBY. She is just so beautiful. She's not like fallen. She was like led there by glowing blonde, skinny. I mean, you post all these gorgeous photos of yourself, and it's like, how'd that happen? Oh, I don't know, like the wind blew, and it just happened. You're like, really? The wind blows on me, and that doesn't happen? So yeah, okay, you can go back to all that humble stuff now.
Well, thank you. But every time I had a shoot that had anything to do with nutrition or fitness, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. But, when we're comfortable, it's hard to make a lot of changes. And so in 2002, my life became extremely uncomfortable. Sad to say, my 13-year marriage had ended. My husband had just decided to do something else. And I was approaching 40 years old.
Your husband decided to do something else?
Yeah, or do someone else. Who knows?
Okay, so wait a minute. You woke up and your husband decided to do someone else.
Yeah, it was. Those things aren't on our vision board as 20-somethings, but life happens and we can't control other people's decisions. But I was he divorced me. We had no money. I had no assets. And I was approaching 40, and that's always kind of a unique thing to manage mentally. And I thought, wow, I did not expect to be here at 40. But I'm a real kind of make lemonade out of lemons girl. And, there's a grieving process, and they, work through some anger. The emotions help us because I really believe if we use them to our benefit, they can catapult us forward in a positive way. So, 2002 came, and I remembered, I thought, I have to start completely over, start from scratch. And I went back to my dream as a 10-year-old little girl, and I thought, okay, now I'm going to live my passion of health and wellness. And did some research and did some discovery and became a certified health coach a couple years into that.
Do you think, Gina, do you think that maybe that all happened because the universe was just pulling the rug out from under your feet and going, oi, focus, look this way?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in God, and I really do believe that, he takes us back to our purpose and our passion. And so, yeah, I thought sometimes we need to kind of smack against the head to get us back to what really is our passion in our heart. Now, I will say before completely. I just kind of dove into health and wellness, I did a lot of personal development and a lot of personal growth work. And that's what I do, and I think that's what some of the work you do. It has to start with really.
Tell me more about that. Tell me more about that. I mean, like, what does that mean? What did you're sitting there, and you're 40, alone, broke, pissed off, absolutely, I'd imagine. It's not like it's the first thing that comes to you. I'll go and personally develop because, I've been there, seen that, bought the T-shirt, and what you're really thinking is, where do I buy a machine gun and kill the bugger? So,
right. Well, a lot of people crash and burn. When that happens, they crash and burn. And I had seen it in other people, and I thought, you know what? I am determined to not let that happen to me. And I can be a stubborn person, and sometimes that works against us. But in this instance, it worked for me because I was determined and stubborn not to just become a victim and wallow in my pity and say, poor me. I did three things. I found some really strong friends, because you kind of have to make new friends when a marriage dissolves. It's just strange. I had a few friends that were my core, and I found new friends. I found friends who were healthy and inspiring and encouraging and empowering. And I also looked for a mentor, someone who had been there, done that, had a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom, and really was a sponge and let them really pour into me. And I read books. I took workshops. I probably took 8 personal growth workshops in 1 year. And it's a big commitment time-wise and financially.
Yeah, but I was going to say that exactly. It's a financial thing, because before you carry on, I mean, people imagine that you sort of have the money sitting there for taking these workshops, but in fact, it's not that, is it? It's actually that you're kind of putting your wallet literally on the line and trusting that this is going to take you somewhere.
Yep, investing in me. And it meant, living on beans and rice for a while, just really, really frugal. And putting that investment, because I knew there would be a beautiful return on investment if I invest in my emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical health. And there truly was. And they're baby steps, and you don't always see the growth right away. But as you're continuing to move forward, you can look back and go, I have come a long way, and it's been the pain has been worth it. It's no fun during the pain, but when you keep walking forward and creating what you love, the pain is worth it. It's just like working out. I never like going to my trainer every week. It hurts. But then afterwards, I'm like, I like my muscle definition. I like that I'm at a healthy weight. I love that I have energy. So it's worth it. And that's why it takes a mentor, because when I want to quit, they're the person cheering me on, kicking my butt, telling me I can do it, and then it gives me that inertia to move forward. And it really, I learned to do that. Anything is possible. Anything is possible.
Yeah, I suppose. What it is that it's the first step. Can you look back and think that there was that one moment where you thought, no, it's going to go this way, not that way? What would that defining moment be for you?
Well, I remember laying in bed crying and going, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not nice. You know, women, and I don't know if men deal with this as much, but I know I was in bed, I was having a pity party, and that's okay. And I said it out loud, and it just gets it out. It gets that little bacteria and the little emotional cancer out. And I realized I was going, I'm not all these things. And then I finally said, stop it. You are enough. You are more than enough. So I put the lies out, sent them down, packing down the river, and really realized I am enough. Who I am is who I am, and we all have beauty in us. It doesn't mean our life is going to go perfectly, but I stopped believing the lie that I wasn't good enough and smart enough and funny enough. Those are just ridiculous lies. And that's
but what was it that
okay.
made you think that? What made you stop and think, no, that's not right, it's going to be and look like this?
You know, fortunately, there's enough good people in my life that were feeding, not just compliments, but really feeding me what my gifts were and what my essence is. You know, it's kind of fun to ask other people to say, what are 3 words you would describe me? And because I know how I would describe myself, but how other people see me. And they were giving me these beautiful words, and I know they were genuine and they were authentic in saying it. And I thought, okay, that's the truth. That's what I'm going to choose to believe. And enough of that was spoken into me by people I really admire and respect that when I was on this downward spiral of woe is me, I'm, blah, blah, blah. And thank goodness the other part of my brain was like, that's a lie. And I started going back on the path of truth, of what's really true about myself. And we need that. We need to hear that from other people.
Did you then, so would you think that you learned about the situation, or did you think that you learned about yourself?
I learned about myself, and I'm a big advocate for really good counselors or therapists. And just like, if we have cancer, we go to an oncologist. For women, we go to an OBGYN. For my situation at the time, I did go to a really good therapist, and she, they're a person who can see the big picture, and she assured me that the things that happened, especially when there's affairs in a marriage, that it's not your fault. That person makes their choices, I make my choices, and sometimes I think even women more so, we take on the fault and the blame of everything, and it's just not ours to take on. So that was encouraging.
It's true.
For me.
I remember reading something about some supermodel being cheated on by her husband. And I was like, wow, if you cheat on her, then it's never going to be about the person, is it really? It's always going to be about you that's doing the cheating.
Right. And we all make our choices. And just because things might be challenging or tough, it doesn't mean you have to make a horrible choice. We know what's right and wrong, and we have the ability. And so that was just encouraging to me to not take on fault that is not mine to take on.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, she gave me the most amazing advice. It was so freeing, especially hitting 40. She goes, Gina, there's only 5 things you can control. You can only control what you do, what you say, what you think, how you feel, and how you respond. You cannot control what others do, say, think, feel, and respond. And when she, of course that sounds like common sense to most people perhaps, but to me I was like, wow, I don't have to control situations. I don't have to fix situations. I was a fixer. And from then on, people can respond poorly, and I can go, that's their choice. I can't control it. I can only control me, and that is beautiful advice, especially for a lot of women. So I'm passing that on to all your listeners for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
but it's freeing, that, isn't it?
So freeing, yes.
Yeah, it's very liberating to think that, look, here I am, and here I am, and then here I am, and then here I am. And there's also a corollary to that, because if you know that you can only look after yourself and be yourself, it means that you can't be wrong.
Right. Well, and if we don't make decisions 100% correctly 100% of the time. So when we do, we just say, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, and just be authentic and genuine in saying you're sorry and saying I was wrong. And, in person, sometimes it can be a little challenging, even now. but I do try to recognize when I'm wrong and say it, especially to my husband, because I will say this, I remarried in 2006 to my most amazing prince. And as we talk through, I will, if there's time, I can give some ideas or tips on how to find an amazing mate, one that really is your soulmate and the puzzle piece that completes such a beautiful picture.
There are tips?
Oh, yes. Would you like to hear them?
There are signposts? Nobody tells me anything.
Well, today we get to learn those. And
yeah, tell me now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, in what I do, so fast forward, in 2005, I became a certified health coach. I started helping hundreds of people get healthy all across the United States. And what I found is once they got healthy weight-wise, they had more confidence, they had more energy, they were believing in themselves more, and it really lent itself into creating healthier relationships, whether it was with spouses, significant others, friends, family, coworkers, and then also extraordinary wealth. So I created a program called Extraordinary Health, Wealth, and Relationships. And with relationships, we complicate it so much more than necessary. What I did, once I was divorced, I hit 40. I thought, if I ever get married, I really wasn't ever considering getting married again, because being single is a very simple life. You're in charge of your time, your money, your fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. So much more. It's just comfortable.
Yeah, very comfortable. And I thought if someone else is going to join this picture, they need to bring a lot to the table, because I feel like I bring a lot to the table with just being healthy, emotionally, spiritually. Again, I invested eventually thousands and thousands of dollars in my personal growth as my business grew. I wanted to grow, and it's all been very worth it. But this is the one key thing I made a list of core values. If I ever did get married again, and, of course, I took this to God, I said I want them to have these core values. And it was nothing about, looks or money. It was all about integrity and authenticity and being honest and cherish and adoring and loving me. And people would look at my list. I would talk to a few of my girlfriends, and they go, yep, you're going to be single forever, because there is no man that fits all those core values. And I said, well, good, because I'm content being single. But there were other plans for my life, and I used to sing in a country band, and I was singing at a gig, a fundraiser. A mutual friend introduced Andy and I, and we golfed here and there. I told him very clearly I'm never getting married, so no relationship here. But because as we hung out, I just saw these beautiful core values in his life that were genuine and authentic. I started liking him, and he started liking me, and really a year later we were married, and it's been 7 years now. And being married, and I looked at my list. I didn't want to make a second mistake, and he was all 20. There were 20 core values, and he was all 20. And he really, to this day, he's all 20 and more. So I feel so blessed that I found my prince, my soulmate, and got to make a list.
So what you're saying is you decided. But what you did this time around is instead of falling into it, you decided what you wanted, and then you attracted that.
Yeah. Yeah. And
well,
that
sounds so nice and simple.
Well, it's simple, and what it does is it keeps your core values running the show rather than your heart. Because, some women, they keep repeating schmuck after schmuck after schmuck, and they don't realize, well, gosh, he might be cute, but he doesn't have any of the core values that really are the sustaining and foundation of any quality relationship. So you have your list of your deal breakers. If that person, well, if your deal breaker is, I don't want them to have an anger problem, and they get angry at, someone cutting them off of the road, they get angry on the phone, that's a deal breaker, because if they're angry, they're angry. And that was one thing I did not want to live with, was someone who had an anger problem. And my husband is he's calm. He's reassuring. I'm high energy, and sometimes he has to reel me in, but he does it in a beautiful, loving, calm manner, and I respect that. And I do need to be reeled in at times. Lord have mercy. And he's good at it.
If you can say that after 7 years. I mean, I'd say that
Yes.
that's a really positive thing, frankly.
Yes, yes. And you know, we have our ups and downs, and we communicate about it. But at the end of the day, I am so grateful that I'm married to such an amazing person, and it's because I didn't compromise and settle. There's no, you know, when we settle and we compromise, we don't get the best for us in whatever it is in life, whether it's people or friends or jobs or, you know, relationships.
Yeah. No, I can see that. But I mean, like, so do you have the same equivalent then for health like you do for wealth?
Absolutely.
Relationships,
Absolutely.
rather?
I do. You know, I'm a health coach. Part of my job is, you know, I'm a life strategist. Part of that is health coaching, and I have to have integrity with that. If I was 40 pounds overweight,
I want to be a life strategist. Do you have a card that says life strategist?
I do. It says Gina Ruby, life strategist.
Oh, that's so cool. Did you make that up?
I did. And, you know, there's life coaches. I mean, it's the top athletes in the world have anywhere from 5 to 10 coaches. So if top athletes have coaches, I believe that we as entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, we need to have mentors and coaches in our life. And what we do is we help people stay on track. We help them with accountability. But life strategy is we never just arrive. You know, if someone makes $1 million, they don't just go, okay, I've arrived. We always have something more to give back. And fast forward, I just turned 50 last April. And I thought, I am a half century old. That sounds really old. But
you look
pretty
amazing.
What was that?
You look amazing.
Well, thank you. And part of that is, I strongly believe, is healthy habits in our life, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. But at a half century old, I really feel like my life is just beginning. I get to take all those life circumstances and wisdom and experiences and now give back. And that's where I really love being a life strategist, is now giving back, helping other people map out, strategize the life they want, rather than just live on autopilot and live the life that's thrown at them. And it takes
So
strategy.
you must have a system, Gina.
I do. With my clients,
what is that?
I have, it's a 3-month Kickstart Your Life strategy, and then I have a 6-month program, Living Extraordinary Health, Wealth, and Relationships. And what we do,
right,
and it's no, you know, rocket science. You start with a vision. What do I want? A lot of people just don't take the time to think, well, what do I want? Write it out. Write your big picture vision out of where you want your life to be financially, relationally, job-wise, where you want to live. And then, I've listened to your talk shows before, we always talk about the why. Why do you want it? If there's no strong why connected to your heart and your head, then it's just not going to happen. It's just a nice dream that sits out there. But you put a why to it, 3 reasons why you want that, or 5 reasons why you want that. Then it puts legs to your dreams, and we can start moving forward. A lot of things do start with health, I have to admit. Because if we're not healthy, it's just hard to have the energy and the inspiration to do it yourself.
Yeah, I think that as well. And I do think that that's part of the problem with what we do, because when you say to people, you know, you want to be healthy, nobody actually says yes, because people only think about health when they're sick.
Right.
And it's quite hard to get them to understand that, in fact, when you're sick, actually nothing happens. So what you do is you should preserve your health so that you remain positive about the whole process and that it works for you.
Yes. I have a great example of one of my clients, Diane. She came to me. She was 51 years old, 40 pounds overweight, single mom, 2 kids, and no job. And so, you know, she was a wreck in every way, health-wise, emotionally, mentally. And timing is everything. She was discouraged. She was looking for a job, and she wanted a better life. We met actually at a networking event, and I told her that I help people lose weight. I help them keep it off. I really help them pursue their dreams. And so she hired me. And this is a woman who didn't have the financial resources, but she wanted it so bad. And seriously, where there's a will, there's a way. And she borrowed money. I was able to help her somewhat because I knew she wanted that dream. She lost 40 pounds. Her energy shifted. Her confidence went through the roof. She interviewed for a job where there's probably other 50, 60 applicants. and she got the job. She was blown away. And it was all because her countenance, her energy going into that interview blew their socks off. And she felt confident because she wasn't carrying around this 40 pounds of weight that she didn't feel like she looked good. And also, excess fat on the body is toxic. So it does drain our energy. She got the job, and she, oh my gosh, she looks beautiful, not just visually, but just her inner glow. I was so proud of her.
And how long did it take you to get there with her?
Less than 6 months. Less than 6 months.
Wow.
I always say she got the fat off, because the fat's what we want to get off, not the muscle, not the bone, not the tissue. The fat came off. She kept it off, and she got that job all within 6 months. So, we don't have to dedicate years and years to trying to better our lives. We can accelerate it, and a lot of it came from her having me as her mentor, as her coach, to just keep her dialed in and on that road. When she wanted to quit, too hard, it's too painful, I can't afford it, we were able to get those negative beliefs out and keep moving forward.
Well, it's important to have somebody as a cheerleader. It really is, because there's enough people in the world that are going to knock you down. So I'm a firm believer in never knocking yourself, because there's no point. There's enough people queuing up to do that. The queue on the side of blow me up, make me big me up is not so big.
Yeah. Well, and all those tapes, so much they say locks in there by the time we're 5 or 6 or 7 years old. And so it's a lot of the tapes from when we were kids that we didn't have the skills and the tools to know if something was true or not. And so when people, said you're not smart enough, you're too fat, you'll never amount to anything, kids believe that information. And so as adults, that's why personal growth is so important. We kind of surface those tapes that we've buried and go, oh my gosh, I've been operating from a place of I'm not good enough. And really, that was a lie given to me by my mom or my uncle or whoever, my teacher. And now they get to remove those tapes, create new tapes, and really live the purpose and passion that they're wired to be. And same with finances.
Yeah, so the thing, we have like a few, less than a minute left. What would it be that you would like everyone to take away as an idea?
Well, the three things I would love for people to just kind of take away from this, and of course they can always contact me for more information, is to really acknowledge that they are worth it, they have value, that they have an idea of what they want to accomplish, to really be 100% confident that they can accomplish it, and to find somebody that has been there, done that, and can really help them, again, map it out, strategize it, take that personal inventory, and then you can have your results or your excuses. Excuses get us nowhere in life.
Fantastic.
So if we want results, find someone to help you make it and connect with them and plan it.
Okay, so that's GinaRuby.com, and it's Living Raw Radio, and we've just run out of time. Gina, thank you so much for joining me. It was fantastic.
Thank you, Geeta.
I really loved it.
I loved every minute of it. Thank you.
Yeah, it was so cool. And it was just such a pleasure. And we will be back next week. I'm just thinking about what Gina told me, so my brain's somewhere else. It's Living Raw Radio, and we'll be back again next week. And thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Take care.
Thank you.
Gina, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Geeta. Oh, my gosh, I love your radio show.
How can you love my radio show? That was so funny. When you said he did someone else, I was kind of like, okay, that's good. I like that.
Well, I listened to the one with the traveling food, and you guys were talking about the Free Willy show movie.
Yeah. Did you like that? That was so funny.
Yeah. You're like, they're bits and hearts.
Yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know if I can say penis on air.
I know. But the way people with their beautiful British accent just go, they're bits and parts. Perfect.
I know. Oh, thank you so much, sweetie. So Kay is say hello to you. I wanted to say to you, Gina, that if you have somebody who wants to come on air, can we do kind of like a counseling, kind of a live counseling session on air?
Absolutely. That would be amazing. I would love to do that.
Wouldn't that be cool? Do you want to send me like a couple of people and then we can have a quick chat with them and just choose one person that we can kind of have a chat with and see if we can help them on air?
Absolutely. And we would just do it on one of these radio shows?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. I'll
Yeah. We'll get them to ring in and we'll say this is what the problem is and you'll say, okay, let's work it out. And you help them create their game plan on air.
Perfect. I like that. I'll come up with 3 clients, get their permission, and then we'll talk to them, and then you'll pick the person. Is that right?
Is that okay?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and I think listeners would like that because then whatever we do, they can take those tools and practice it themselves and or contact you or me.
Exactly, and the joy of that is that if we set that up like that, we could set up, hopefully between you and I, some kind of a referral system where we're sending you clients. But what we could also do in life is just their case studies, and you can put them up on your website.
Yes, that'd be perfect.
Because these become podcasts on iTunes.
Okay, good, okay, perfect.
Right.
So and I have people that are comfortable with the public, with them sharing with the public, because it really is a way of giving back. It's paying it forward when we can share.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm an open book. So.
Yeah,
okay.
That's just awesome. I think that's a brilliant idea. Let's do that. So you come back to me, okay?
Yep, perfect. I'll put it in my calendar and do my homework.
I'm going to go do homework with my children. Have a lovely day.
All right. Thanks, Geeta. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. This is recording.